Thanks very much for checking out this episode of Turning to Him. If you enjoy what you hear, feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave comments, share it with your friends, all the basic stuff. When you do things like that, it makes it easier for other people to find the channel and add goodness into their lives. Thanks again. Tell me about, you mentioned that you served a mission, but tell me about how did that process take place? How did that decision happen?
Oh gosh.
Did you
Uh,
always want to serve a mission growing up?
I think yes, and but I also came from that little tiny town, and the only thing you did was get married.
Okay.
So it took me a very long time because that's just kind of what I thought. Like I would just go get married and like have kids and like have a family and stuff, and that would be
Yeah.
that's what my plan was.
Which is
And
a
so
great life, by the way. There's nothing
it's
wrong with that
great,
life.
absolutely great. But God was like, "Oh no, you have other things to do before all of that." So, you know, I remember just being, back in those days. Well, I'm really aging myself here, but back in those days,
Back in the day.
you had to wait till you were 21 to go on a mission if you were a girl. So it feels like a long time ago. Um, and so I just remember thinking, like at 19, I wanted to go. I was ready to go, but I had still had to wait 2 more years. And so I
Mhm.
tried to live in a bubble, which now I would have never done that. But I like didn't want to date anybody. I just didn't
Sure.
want to get snatched up. And so I like kept my distance from guys for a really long time. And I just, because I knew I wanted to go on a mission, and prepared myself to do that. That's a whole other story. Basically, I lost everything. I got in a car accident. I lost I was literally sitting on my um, car in my apartment that I absolutely hated, needed to sell a contract, like everything fell apart. Everything fell apart. And I had to go live with my grandparents. And I didn't realize this, but like for a whole year, God was preparing me to be able to go on a mission and to serve. But I had everything taken away from me at that time. And just I mean, I don't even know how I got around, but I still went to school and I still had a job, and I literally it's all a blur. That part's a blur. I do
Oh
not know
my
how I
gosh.
like even lived my life, but I just remember like hanging out at Institute a whole lot.
Yeah.
I just did a podcast, or a live interview with do you know Brother Anderson, Scott Anderson, by any chance?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well
Great podcast. Great show.
he's amazing, right?
Yes.
And he was my institute teacher, and I would go to that institute and I would hang out there like all day. Like I remember going to like classes and stuff later and then coming back to institute because like that's just where my spirit wanted to be. And it's just fun.
Oh,
I told you
wow.
I'm a little bit of a unicorn when it comes to that. But I
Oh,
loved it.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
So
from sometime between 19 and 21, you go through a little bit of a crucible.
yes. And that's not, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely did. But like I
Okay.
said, that's kind of, and I feel like my whole life has been like that a little bit. My mission was very difficult. Like it
Okay. How
was,
so?
well, I wanted to go out and I wanted to baptize the world. Like that was like, let's just bring everybody to Christ. Like that's all I wanted, right? And I just
Yes.
wanted, I really focused on the number because, and especially back in that day, that was a big deal. I don't know how it is anymore, but that was a big deal. Like your numbers, you had to count everything. And so, like, I think I just got really caught up in that. And Heavenly Father was like, "Oh, I'll show you."
Yeah, because Scotland is not known for its
No,
um
baptisms.
yeah, for easy missionary work.
It was not. And I look back now because, I've been home for 25 years, but I look back and I just think that mission was exactly what I needed, but it was not a baptizing mission. I
Why
ended
would?
up baptizing one little boy at the very end of my mission. And that was along with one of the things that I learned the most. And that was three lessons that I learned and that have never left me and that have changed me so much. And that
Okay,
was
what are they?
to love God, love myself, and love other people. And I learned them in ways, you talk about coming to Jesus Christ. Those were the ways that I came to Jesus Christ. I learned who he was to me. I learned the atonement in ways that uh, were so poignant to me, were so strong to me. And I still talk about them and get emotional because they were everything. And when I think like they really did change me as a person. Not that I was, bad before or anything
Hmm.
like that, but
Hmm.
like you said, you kind of go through this like God is molding you. And uh I look back at my mission, I'm like, that's what I was there for, to learn those three things so powerfully that it changed me.